Welcome to Business Live Extra, the first episode of 2020. We're starting this year on a high note. Last month, international credit rating agency Moody's upgraded Jamaica's credit rating to the highest assigned in a decade. Standard & Poor's recently upgraded Jamaica to the highest ever assigned since it started rating Jamaica's credit 20 years ago. And of course, the stock exchange is designated the best performing in the world. Welcome to Business Live Extra. Our guest today is blazing a trail internationally. She has a wealth of experience, having worked in senior management positions at varying private and public sector organizations here in Jamaica and overseas. In 2016, she was given the honor of the Order of Distinction in the rank of Commander, CD, in recognition of her outstanding leadership. She is a highly demanded speaker, requested at many local, regional, and international conferences and seminars for the securities market and financial services industry. She is a JP, Justice of the Peace, and serves as a director for the Good Samaritan Inn, a Christian outreach and at the uplifting the poor and marginalized. Our guest today is a managing director of the Jamaica Stock Exchange and director of both its subsidiaries. Well done to those of you who guessed it correctly. Our guest today is Mrs. Marlene Street Forrest. Marlene, welcome to Business Live Extra.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. Marlene, tell us about yourself. You are one of the few, female CEOs, managing directors on the stock exchange.
Right.
Where did you get started, just in your whole career, right here in Jamaica?
Well, I started as an auditor at the Income Tax Department, having left university. And then I went on to JPS as internal auditor. So if you notice, I'm always in the field of audit or finance. And then I worked for an international company, at the time Xerox, Jamaica, as their chief accountant. I failed to have also said to you, I was at Caribbean Cement Company, where I was properly mentored in the area of finance, having done cost accounting, very technical, and also management accounting. And
so right when you came out of university, you jumped into the public sector.
That is correct.
And do you think that gave you just a great, keeping yourself grounded and just being such a lovely, humble person that you are still to this day?
I think it was a very good experience. A lot positive can be said about the public sector, because what it did, it opened my eyes to finance, to accounting, and then we had good supervisors who were able to show how best to operate within the sector. We were hardworking in the public sector, and so it grounded me when I went on to the private sector.
Yeah, and have those relationships. I mean, have you maintained some of those strong
Many of
public
those
sector relationships?
Public sector relationships I've maintained, yes.
Yes. And would you say they've been rewarding you to this day, helped you with your, different private sector roles that you've had?
I believe that working at the Income Tax Department was great, because what it did, it opened your eyes, one, to finance, the accounting, but also it opened your eyes to how people perceive their businesses, because you had to invite them in sometimes to speak about their tax returns.
Okay.
And, what it did was just to show you to how hard people work in their business,
yes,
and what they have to do to get where they are, and really, when you look at it completely, it is important to understand human beings in order to be able to be successful in business.
Right. And in those days, did you go and do site visits,
Yes.
and visit companies personally?
Yes, you had to do some site visit, mainly though people send in their returns and they would come in. Yes.
Okay. And you're Justice of the Peace, JP.
Yes.
How long ago did that happen, and at what point in your life?
I became a Justice of the Peace over 12 years ago.
Okay.
And again, it is grounded. I accepted when I was asked whether I would become a Justice of the Peace, because I believe that it is good to serve. In everything, it is important that you must be a servant leader. You want to lead? understand how to serve.
Right.
And that's important.
And was it the same feeling of kind of giving back that motivated you to become a JP?
Most definitely. And it works also because in the area, you know, I'm downtown.
Yes.
We have quite a number of persons who will come in to ask, you know them, you have to know them, to sign up their documents, etc. And also the opportunity for serving at the stock exchange, being a JP.
Do you, I mean, again, you know, similar to the corporate world,
Yes.
I know the JP world is probably similarly male-dominated,
Yes.
but you've broken in as well. Do you go to
Yes.
some of the soup or the kind of rum drink-ups as well with the JPs?
No, I don't. I serve quietly.
Okay,
Yes,
okay,
yes.
excellent. And is it demanding of your time, you know, to be adjusted to the piece?
It takes some time, but it is all in a day's work. I find that I'm able to fit it in, you know, because I go to work very early too. So sometimes I will tell people just to come early, and we can dispense with some of that. Yes.
Right. And you're going to your high school days. You went to Titchfield, the same high school as Michael Eachin.
That is correct. Titchfield, and that's Portland.
Yes.
So you understand that I'm a country girl. Yes.
Which is great. So, I mean, who else has gone to Titchfield now? I mean, now that we're meeting you today.
Who else has gone to Titchfield?
Anybody else jumps to your mind or
right
springs to your mind?
away? Not right away, but we've had, in general, so many outstanding people. Titchfield has been known to produce probably more doctors in Jamaica than any other.
Really? Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
You know, the school has maintained its standards, I believe so, and we have actually worked.
Does Titchfield have like an annual reunion? Do you get together with some of your, you know, just old classmates?
Yes, so Titchfield has an annual renewal, and also because you know persons that go to Titchfield, we'll call them up, we'll chat, and just share the good old days.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. And have you found those relationships have helped you throughout your career, or have you found that your university relationships were more, you know, helpful?
Significant.
Yeah.
I think the university relationships have been more significant for me. Yes.
Okay. And after the tax department, Marlene, what did you jump into professionally? Which one exactly after?
After the income tax, I went on to JPS as an internal auditor. And again, that shaped me because there were some things that were difficult in JPS at that point, was government. And there were some things that you recognize that you have to understand. You have to know people more than the work itself, understand how to move with changes, because things change, assignments change, and so again, it shaped you. It created an avenue for you to understand people and understand the work.
Right.
Yes.
And you know, persons have always told me, and you know, mentors have always said, you know, persons who are accountants or very strong in accounting, or you know, even engineers, just go on to do amazing things. You know, become CEOs, managing directors, just very good at, you know, solving issues.
Right.
And in your case, you spent a lot of time in audit, accounting. And you know, you're the managing director of the stock exchange. Highly successful today.
Thank you.
How much would you attribute, you know, all of those jobs, you know, moving up that corporate ladder in finance, accounting, to where you are today?
Extremely important, because when you are dealing with audit or accounting too, there is a preciseness that you must follow. There's an attention to detail that is important. And I believe also in leadership, there has to be that attention to detail. For example, in accounting, we always say, we are audited every day.
Yes.
You have the internal auditor, you have then the external auditor, and so often, so it gives you that attention to detail, and also time. Time management is critical in audit and accounting, and again, interacting with people. So I think that path for me was extremely important in being where I am today.
So you think it's really made Marlene a meticulous person?
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
I think
and hands-on as well?
And
Marlene?
hands-on.
Okay.
Though it is important to be hands-on and not hands-on too. Because you can't be in everything.
Yes.
But at least what you end up doing is inspecting what to expect.
Yes.
You know that there's an expectation, you inspect it. You test the waters. And these are some real traits of a financial controller or persons within the financial field.
And throughout that, after you moved on from TAJ,
Yes.
jumped into the private sector world, is there any part of that career that really jumps out and, that you loved or you're very passionate about and you think has made you into this, JSE leader, corporate leader, where you got some fantastic experience?
Caribbean Cement Company.
A listed company as well?
Yes, Caribbean Cement Company. Because, Mark, not only were you exposed to the technical and the detail. For example, I was a cost accountant. That's
Carib Cement?
Yes, that's the first role, and then a management accountant. But what stood out, and I've talked about this before, is that mentor. I had a great mentor.
Okay.
And, you have to see in people the potential.
You saw the human skills there.
Yeah,
the
yes.
leadership traits and...
Exactly. My mentor probably saw that I was a promise and a possibility.
Maybe.
And he actually spent time mentoring not only about the technical aspects, but other things. Exposed us to seminars, exposed us to workshops, and took time out of what is his busy schedule to just sit and talk to us.
So the part of recognition really sank into you.
That is correct.
Human beings, recognition, staff.
Exactly.
It was an important reality.
Very, very important reality.
Okay.
So whenever I speak about Carib Cement Company. I speak about Compton Rodney. Very, very important that we do likewise too. We find time to understand the people we are working with, to see what they want,
yes,
and to see how that fits in, obviously, with the company. But it is very important,
right.
that mentorship.
And do you feel you've really carried that, through to the Jamaica Stock Exchange, and that's a part of the culture that you've built
I am hoping so.
At 40 Harbour Street?
I am hoping so, because that has always been at the forefront for me of management, that one, understand your staff, understand what they want, listen to them and see how what they have to say dovetails into the strategic direction of the company. But just understand that people are people and you must spend time getting to know them.
People.
Yes.
That's great. So it's that whole balancing of people and product.
People and product and profitability.
That's great.
Yes, you must balance those
right.
three.
And taking a step back, post Titchfield,
yes.
Your university days.
Yeah.
Is there any part there that jumped out? What got you into, I'm going to do management studies or study that field? Probably with some basis of finance accounting. Because not everybody just jumps into the accounting field.
Okay.
Any big moment that jumps out to you for Marlene?
Very big moment, because I actually registered to do sociology at the University of the West Indies.
Okay.
And on the day of my registration.
So your brain was always going from a young age.
Brain, somebody else's brain probably was going more than mine.
Right.
I was in the line registering to do sociology, although my subjects at school were more business inclined at high school. And this lady, she was obviously an adult more than I was, because I was 18, and she said to me, "Tell me, what a young girl like you are doing in this line, registering for sociology." I listened. She said, "Come out of the line and go and register for management studies." Just like that. I came out of the line. and I registered for management studies. So the rest is history. I've never seen her again.
Never look back.
No, but that is it. So she had a part to play in the fact that I registered for management study, and I kept that part.
So sometimes you got to trust the science and your gut feeling.
Your gut feeling, and most of all, sometimes you have to listen.
Listen.
Yes.
I like it.
Yes.
All right. And we take our first break on Business Live Extra. When we return, we'll discuss how Marlene Street Forrest is taking the Jamaica Stock Exchange to the world. Welcome back to Business Live Extra. We're talking to Marlene Street Forrest, Managing Director of the Jamaica Stock Exchange, JSE. Increasing business confidence has helped push unemployment to a record low and triggered a big rally in the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Jamaica's US $11 billion stock exchange is the best performing of 94 bourses tracked by Bloomberg over the past 12 months, gaining 35%. Total gains over the past 5 years come to more than 600%, again, the world's best performance. Recently, the country successfully sold 815 million of bonds at a yield of just 5.8%, which was followed by a credit rating upgrade by Standard & Poor's and then Moody's. All of this is aided by a record low unemployment rate of 7.8%. Let's find out more about how Marlene Street Forrest is creating an environment of innovation and efficiency at the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Marlene, welcome back.
Thank you.
Just incredible numbers. You know,
Yes.
you go to the central bank's, website, the homepage as well. You see all these statistics we just spoke about. You know, they've also held, their rate at 0.5% as well on December 20th.
Right.
So just incredible rates, incredible numbers.
Right.
And the stock exchange is just reflecting a lot of these gains.
Yes, the stock exchange definitely is reflecting the positive economic conditions that we're having.
Yes.
Yes.
And you're the queen bee. You are the CEO, the managing director, driving all this for, the last number of years. I mean, there was a point when, maybe 7 years ago, 8 years ago, the JSE was, just an acronym at that point.
Yes,
and now it is stocks are sexy. Equities are booming. Everybody wants to get in. Just to tell us a little bit about this story and how it has happened from maybe 10 years ago to today. And the stock exchange has, it's all over Twitter. It's all over social media.
Yes.
It's on everybody's mind.
Right.
Everybody's talking about business in Jamaica.
So, Mark, we have just spoken about the economic conditions, but let us just track back 7 years ago or so. The Jamaica Stock Exchange knew that it needed to be different. As you said, not many people knew about the exchange, and we knew that we had to work on many fronts. One, market education.
Yes.
Explaining to people just what a stock exchange does, how it creates wealth. And we spent quite a considerable amount of money and time ensuring that we were in high school with the stock market game. We had investor forums, we had conferences, and anywhere that we could go to tell people about the market, we did, in terms of why persons should invest in the market. Well, that is one side. That is the demand side. We also knew strategically that we had to get people interested in listing also on the exchange. And we did this through many programs as well, going out and telling people what are the advantages to be gained from listing on the exchange. So that at the point, for example, now where the economic conditions are good, people are understanding that they can also list their companies. We partnered too with agencies like USAID in order to ensure that, and that should be IDB. We partnered with IDB to ensure that, again, we were promoting access to equity capital. We also worked with our brokers, because remember, brokers are very important.
They're a crucial part
very,
of
very
the
crucial.
stock exchange.
That is correct. A company doesn't come directly to us. it comes through a broker.
And how many brokers are there now in
So we have
total?
13 brokers in
Okay.
total, and we are expanding. The market is open for more brokers to come on.
Okay.
Yes. So we also worked with our brokers, encouraging them also to encourage persons to seek after equity capital. So these are some of the things that we have done. But let us talk about regulation too.
Yes.
Because a market will not thrive if there's not confidence in the market.
And the stock exchange itself, you have a regulatory arm separate from the commercial arm.
Separate from the commercial arm to show that there is separation of when decisions are taken.
Transparency.
Transparency, exactly. So in 2008, we demutualized the exchange, which really means the separation of the commercial arm from the regulatory arm. And we beefed up that area, the regulatory arm, so that persons understand fully that when a company comes to market, the company is going to be regulated. Corporate governance is important.
So there were a lot of long-term deliberate moves,
That is
made
correct.
by the shareholders, the board,
That is correct.
management. But as far back as 10 or so years ago, and you're really reaping the gains
We are reaping
in the last couple of years and today.
Exactly. And then in terms of technology, so we talk about regulation, we talk about market education, and then we have to talk about technology.
Right.
So we put in place a sound basis for technology. And so, we have the electronic trading platform. We did put that in long before, and New York Stock Exchange. We like to boast about that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we do. We put in online trading platform, and many things that we put in, the small gains.
Because you've had the brand, you've rang the bell.
Yes.
And the NYSE.
Yes,
You've also had the brand JSE and your logo,
Yes.
in Times Square.
Yes.
So you've had some huge wins. I mean, globally.
Exactly. Globally.
I mean, the JSE. Yourself, the management team, you're in demand now to go to conferences globally.
That is
not
correct.
just in Jamaica and the Caribbean.
Not just in Jamaica and the Caribbean. We have also engaged the diaspora.
Okay.
Because it's critical. They need to see what is happening. We don't need to go out and persons ask, is there really an exchange? No.
What is happening there, Marlene, in terms of getting, I know persons sometimes say it's, you have to have a TRN number to be able to invest on the JSE, but which can be difficult for the, as I said, the diaspora, if somebody is in, wherever they are, in the UK, if they're in Toronto, but what's happening there? What's the story there? And when can we see some movement there?
Okay, so I want to say that the person does not have to have a TRN.
Okay.
But they can have a social security number or a unique identifier for the country in which they live.
Okay.
And an account can be opened for...
With their unique tax number
That is
of
correct.
their jurisdiction.
Of their jurisdiction.
Okay.
And what we did, we listened to them, because many persons would initially have to come to Jamaica to open an account. Physically.
Or they have to send like a notarized,
Yes.
notary public or something.
Exactly. And then afterwards, every time that they need to trade, they might have to call that broker. So this is why we introduced the online trading platform, where it is still through a broker.
Yes.
But whilst that account is open, they have the access to go in and see what they want to trade, when they want to trade, and do the trading themselves.
So us as Jamaicans, we can be skeptical sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And if a Jamaican is in even say Canada or USA and they feel a bit weird about uploading their social security number,
Right.
that it can be like a scammer thing or something like that.
Right.
Is there any other solution maybe in the works for 2020, or the reality is that there's going to have to be some type of ID around tax?
The reality is that there is going to be some form of ID.
Okay.
It is know your customer.
Right.
It is understanding that AML has to take place, just as how you do it in the United States or other places.
So it has to be educated, just as if a Jamaican opens up an account at Bank of America,
Yes.
you need to provide a tax. If a
Yes,
Jamaican's
or-
coming
or-
home,
yes.
we just have to get them into the mindset. You have to provide the same tax.
What we need not do is take so long
Okay.
in the processing because it frustrates people.
Got you.
But market education, again, when we went just this year to Canada and the United States, what we did, we went with a team of brokers. And at that point, the accounts could have been open.
Right.
There's nothing regulatory wrong.
preventing.
Yes.
Okay.
What you must not do is solicit
Yes.
and also to sell the stocks.
Right.
But an account can be opened. So we are doing
It's
some
just to
of
work on the technology, the timing.
the timing.
efficiency.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Got you. All right. That's good. And
Yeah.
how is the performance? Your market cap now is 19.5 billion Jamaican. Right.
Right.
Say roughly 150 million US or so.
Right.
Which is huge. I mean, how does your board? I mean, how does the management team? Your staff must be excited every day they wake up and the exchange itself is listed.
Right.
I'm sure people don't get too confused as they used to, but the exchange is listed now.
Yes,
You
it's
are a
listed
public
on the
company.
we are listed on our own exchange.
Yes.
And let me tell you, Mark, the staff is engaged. One word.
And being public has helped with that? Is it?
Yes, because they like to see the fact that the company is performing well.
Yes.
We are also governed, corporate
Yes.
governance. They move with that. They like to infuse technology. And we have a young staff.
Okay.
Oh, the complement is young.
Right.
So they come with the various things. We can't keep up sometimes
Right.
with when they come and say, we want to do this.
Because your social media, I mean, there's a lot of public commentary that says it's one of the best now,
Yes.
if not the best for a public company.
Oh, yes.
On the exchange.
It's well turned up.
Yes.
Yes, yes. And so we keep people engaged. And the young people, I just want to talk about the young people in the company and those on social media. They are really engaged. They come with ideas. They talk about the company, what the market in general is doing. I love it.
Okay.
I
and
really
it's
love it.
and it's received well by by yourself and just
Oh, yes.
management and everybody.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
That's great.
Yes.
That's
so we have feedback so that we work on some things. So it's not perfect.
Right.
But we get those feedback, and it is important in the growth of the exchange. Yes.
And your profitability, your earnings continue to grow.
Right.
Double digits and higher. What's really leading the profitability maybe in, this year, the last quarter? Is it the cess revenue? Is it what's really generating the returns, Marlene?
Remember now, over the last couple of years, we sought to diversify
Okay.
our revenue stream, meaning that we did not want to rely solely on cess, as you speak about the
Which is your core.
Yes, which is the core. So we diversify. We have the Jamaica Stock Exchange, the JCSD, the JCSD Trustee Services, and also soon we'll talk about probably the Social Stock Exchange. But those three that are revenue generating. So we looked at how best to serve the market, being the financial back office of Jamaica.
Of Jamaica.
And that's what we are.
And is that what the JCSD or that
Yes.
kind of company kind of is in layman's terms? Like
Yes.
what is a JCSD
So-
trustee or the JCSD?
Okay, so the JCSD ensures that after trading, there can be efficient settlement of transaction. And also before trading, we don't have things like a double trading or persons having traded more than they have in their inventory. So what we have is between the JSE's trading platform and the JCSD's settlement platform is what is called a tightly coupled system.
Okay.
So before a trade can take place, it searches to see that there is inventory. So it gains the public's confidence. And then settlement is now T, that's trading, plus 2.
So,
Right.
so in a way, like what you said earlier, it's keeping us safe.
It is keeping
and building the
us-
confidence in the financial market.
Exactly. Again, utilizing technology. And then the JCSD Trustee Services is still about keeping persons safe. Because having executed on a loan or transaction, then the JCSD as trustee for the lenders,
Yes.
right, are able to say they're the watchdog to see that these things are properly executed.
Because you might have like private placements in there,
Exactly.
different securities which
Right.
are also registered with the Securities Commission and
Exactly.
stuff like that.
Right.
Excellent.
And then we have the registrar, which is under the JCSD. And the registrar, it's building out its own in terms of being the largest, having the most registers in Jamaica.
In Jamaica.
That is correct.
I like that.
Yes.
And we're taking another break on Business Live Extra. When we return, we'll discuss how Marlene Street Forrest plans to make the stock exchange appealing to all Jamaicans. Welcome back. We're talking to the Managing Director of the Jamaica Stock Exchange, Marlene Street Forrest. Rising optimism has helped push unemployment to a record low and triggered a big rally in the Jamaica Stock Exchange. And Jamaica has many other things going for it, which is boosting investor confidence, including an advantageous location in terms of north-south and east-west traffic via the Panama Canal shipping routes. Significant development in infrastructure, including the road network. Growth in industries like tourism and BPO, and considerable room for growth in agro-processing and ICT. This progress is reflected in the stock market, one of the world's best performing in recent years. Let's continue the conversation with Marlene Street Forrest as we talk more about efforts to make the exchange more inclusive. Marlene, welcome back.
Thank you.
You know, the returns on the exchange have been phenomenal.
Right.
I mean, yes, interest rates in Jamaica have been record lows.
Right.
You know, the T-bill is so low, you know, single digits,
Right.
you know, well below 5%.
Right.
You know, we spoke about central rate, 0.5% now,
Right.
them keeping that steady.
Right.
You know, the returns even this year, well above 20% on the index. We know it's not the best performing. I think, you know, Argentina's doing very well.
Yes.
Hungary's doing well.
Yes.
But you're right there in the top
Right
three,
there, yes.
top five again.
Yes.
How much would you say it's the returns, the interest rate environment that's driving this, as you said, you know, the doubling of your investor accounts or your, you know, number of investors in the market in the last 5 years? Or is it a mix of things? I mean, what's the real story?
I think what is driving the stock market mainly is, again, we talk about the environment, but also the returns. Persons have been able to come in, understand that they are investing in credible companies, that it has a long run. Yes, it is not that we are investing for short term. It is much better if you were to have put your money in the bank.
Yes.
At the interest rate that the bank is offering. Now, not on the loan side, but as a saving, you would not be getting the sort of return on sort of return on savings. So therefore, I think what is happening is that investors are looking for a home to put their money in, and that will have a reasonable return or a great return. This year they had a great return. The index is over 35% in terms of the main index.
Right.
And so even the US dollar and the junior market, we have seen good returns. So overall, I think public confidence in companies that they are doing the right things,
Right.
and they are also seeking to expand. And so these play in to investors wanting to invest.
And at the stock exchange, you also have some new, indexes or
Yes,
indices, and
exactly.
And in a way, do you look at them as new products? I mean, it is kind of what you sell, what you do. I mean, and what are they?
Right. So the index, or the indices that we have launched, is in order for the market to create new products based on them.
Okay.
Right? So we are expecting that when we have launched, I'll say, for example, a financial index, the market will create, it's a fund, exchange traded fund. might not be called that, but I'm hoping
Right.
eventually we can normalize what it is called, and they will create funds and other investment products based on that.
And so it's a financial, and the other one is like a manufacturing.
Manufacturing, and we are going to be launching 2 new indices
Okay.
for 2020.
Great.
Yes.
Is that top secret, or you can tell us on Business Live Extra?
No, I will talk about those a little later.
All right, no problem.
But we will be having 2 new indices.
And how many in total now? I mean, how many indices does the JSE have now, roughly?
I think it is, 8.
About 8 now.
Yes,
Terrific.
about that,
Okay.
yes.
So it's about, expanding, doing the right thing. You're
Right.
having more overall.
Right.
All right.
That's right, definitely.
And there's some other new things. Recently we saw in the media, the paper, about a social exchange.
Right.
And what is that about now? Is it to make profits, or is it, as the word says, or is it an index or a company?
It is a company. So we have launched, and let me not use the word launch, incorporated a Jamaica Stock Exchange.
Okay.
Because we believe, our board and management and the staff believe social is good for business. If you have a good social climate, it is going to enhance business. So what we are talking about, Mark, is understanding that social is sustainability.
Okay.
Yes, so we incorporated the Jamaica Stock Exchange in January of 2019.
And it's a company, Marlene, or is it okay?
It is a company, and what we have is a platform. So one can go to that platform and donate to projects. In the first instance, we have 2 markets. We have a market that is really geared towards donation, and then we will also have a market that lists social enterprises. So at this point, we have social enterprises.
And what would you say, again, what's a social enterprise? Like,
Right. A social enterprise is an organization that looks at social issues and is formed to ensure that these are solved.
And Marlene, what's your outlook for next year? I mean, are you looking forward to seeing even more companies list, just given the continued confidence, low interest rate environment? I mean, how many listings or a range of listings are you thinking about for the main and junior next year? What's your outlook?
The outlook is extremely positive, because as we said, we are not talking about numbers without talking to our brokers.
Okay.
And what we have,
that's your feeder system.
that is the feeder system.
Right.
And the brokers all are positive. They have quite a number of listings in the pipeline, and we expect that we are going to be getting those. One of the things that is positive too, Mark, is, this year for Wicton, we have had the greatest number in terms of persons coming,
Yes.
investors investing in Wicton.
And it's not just pension funds or traditional investors.
No,
as you said, you're getting a lot of new investors.
The base is growing, and that's what we want, democratizing investment in the stock market.
Right.
And so we had over 30,000.
Because the new catchword now is, let me catch the next IPO, or,
Is that
or
right?
the phrase.
Yes.
Well, if you look, to the exchange's credit as a platform,
Yes.
Mailpack is up over 100%.
That is correct.
Lumber Depot is up over 100%.
Right.
So it has really created this continued trend or wave,
Yes,
as you said.
Right. And it is one of the things that we need to talk about is that this wave is based on fundamentals. It is not a flash in the pan. The financials are there. People are seeing how these companies are doing, or also the plans that they have for ensuring that their companies grow. They're invested in it as well.
And they're consulting with their financial advisor and
Exactly.
speaking. Yes.
Exactly. So this year, in 2020, we're expecting quite a number of listings. And we're also expecting government to be using this platform. to to ensure that when they divest the assets,
Right.
it is divested in a transparent manner and to Jamaicans.
Right.
No, we were not saying not to other people in the world.
Yes.
But, you know, Jamaicans having a stake in
the
Jamaican
ownership,
properties.
right?
Yes.
And with that said, Marlene, I mean, for the topic of financial literacy, which
Yes.
is so popular now, but the bottom line is you have the conference coming up in
Yes,
January.
yes.
You know, you have your social media pages humming.
Yes.
You know, what else would you say, you know, plus those, you know, is a stock exchange or have you been doing, you know, across, you know, Jamaica to really, you know, get people thinking about investing and not just saving?
Okay. So our conference comes up January 21 to 23, and that is a 15-year. We have been doing this now for 15 years, and that is going to be targeted again on talking about wealth creation and investment. Now, what we also are doing is we have workshop outreaches.
Okay.
Well, those are in reaches,
And
right?
the stock exchange does those directly.
Oh, definitely. But we take the broker along with us as well.
Okay.
So we have to engage everybody.
So it's a very collaborative effort.
Yes. So we have quite a number of those all throughout, not Kingston is not Jamaica, all throughout the island. We have, in celebrating our 50th anniversary, which ends February 2020, we have had the National Investor Education Week, where again we collaborate with the financial sector, brokers, other players. And this, in 2019, we had over 2,000
Wow. Okay.
persons attending
Attend the workshops.
the workshops, and the workshops were geared at different levels. We said the beginners,
Right.
and those who knew a little bit more. So we streamed them.
Right.
Now, what about eCampus? We have what is called an eCampus, JSE eCampus. And again, the eCampus is geared to ensuring that this continues. So we have the ABC of investing in the stock market put on by the eCampus.
And that's your technology. Persons can go and do that directly.
Yes, yes, and we have blended learning as well.
Blended.
And then to ensure that the market continues, more senior persons go, brokers can attend various courses. So we have structured ourselves in such a way that there is continuity in ensuring that the public. Yes.
Do you find, whether it's the JSE workshops or the broker workshops, Marlene, do they go outside, say, the traditional zones of Kingston, Mandeville, and Montego Bay? Are you touching some of the other, you know, parishes or, let's say, areas of the breadth of the island?
Most definitely. So, for example, we have been in 14 parishes.
Okay,
Yes.
everywhere has been covered now.
Everywhere is covered.
Okay.
So we must cover every parish, and we have gone in, but again, based on our social media, based on the eCampus, etc., we want to ensure that when we ask a person about stocks, they don't just feel that it's an agricultural product.
Right.
They know we're talking about investing in a stock market. Yes.
Right. Is there, you know, on that point with agriculture, and it's
Yes.
something that, you know, we hear about day in and day out, but we're not seeing too much movement in it yet in the
Yes.
country. Is there any plans by the stock exchange to look at commodity markets or anything to do with agri-processing, but you know, on the financial side, that's commodities?
Right. So for 2020, we're not going there, but that is a part of the long-term
of your long-term.
strategic plan
Okay.
that we have. We actually started in terms of looking at utilizing the platform that we have, but it has not gone that far. So we are
yet.
looking strategically. It's
Okay.
more of a longer.
Okay.
It's
And the
initiative.
50th anniversary has been all of what you expected, has been going great?
More. And more. Because we did not plan that there would be such an uptake for so many persons. Young people, the millennials, Generation X or Y, all of them are, you know, engaged. This year, 2020, we are also going to be going to the primary prep schools.
Okay, so you're getting into the, let's say, early
Yes.
childhood and
We
a
are
few
going to be
years.
using animation.
Okay,
Yes, we are going to be having
visual learning.
visual learning. Them coming to the Stock Exchange 38A.
Okay.
We have a very nice area for them so that they can look, as you say, visual. We will have the, to keep them occupied, we'll have
keep them
Stocky the bull.
Okay.
Yes, and
I like that.
oh yes, so that
Is that going to be a mascot or just for this program?
it's a mascot.
A mascot.
Yes,
All right.
and
it's like a Wall Street, but
exactly.
Stocky the Bull.
Stocky the
Harbor
bull for
Street.
them, yes. And then then as you say, animation to keep them engaged.
Yes.
We are now in
Make
the
it, as you said, fun, exciting.
Yeah, fun,
So you've really gotten to the point now where you know each of your kind of user groups, your customers, your
that is
potential
good.
customers.
Yes.
It's really humming.
Right. So the entire, Mark, what we want to do is just completely change the landscape. When a 7-year-old can talk about the stock market,
Yes.
we have it. Yes?
Love it.
Yes.
All right. It's great, Marlene. It's great to see you, and it's great to hear all the magic that you've done at the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
Thank you. And it is the team.
Yes.
The team is fantastic. I want to just encourage them to continue, so that we can advance not only the stock exchange, but Jamaica, land we love.
And Stocky the Bull.
And Stocky the Bull, yes.
That's it for another edition of Business Live Extra. Remember, there are no secrets to success. It's the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. We've been talking with the Managing Director of the Jamaica Stock Exchange and Director of both its subsidiaries, Marlene Street Forrest. Don't forget, you can watch us online at cvmtv.com/Business Live Extra. Thanks for joining us.